What's up, everyone? I'm very happy to let you all know that I finally got myself a brand new dirt jumper. In this video, we're going to be going over this bike, and I'm going to be letting you all know what my intentions are with this bike and what the future is going to hold for this. So let's get straight into it. You all know that I've been wanting a dirt jumper for a very long time, and I finally got myself one. So this is the Mongoose Fireball SS. So this is a really high quality dirt jumper, and I've made little to no changes to this bike. But let's start with this frame. This frame is a polished aluminum frame. So this is T1 Tectonic aluminum. Couldn't tell you what that means, but it sounds really high quality. The frame is about a 23-inch top tube, which is pretty crazy, but it's just a one size. So this size kind of fits everybody. Moving on to this fork. This fork is a Manitou fork with 100 millimeters of travel. So the fork is it's a high quality fork, and it's pretty much the same exact travel that you're gonna see on any other dirt jumper. It does come with a lockout on it, or an adjuster. I guess a dampener would be the better word for it. So you can adjust how stiff the shocks are, and then you have your air on the other side where you just pump them up to fit your rider's weight. Moving over to the stem of the bike, this is a Pro Max stem, and it's a 40 millimeter stem. So you could see how tiny the reach is on this stem, and that's how all the dirt jumpers are set up nowadays. The bars are made by exposure. They're significantly longer than what I'm used to, but I'm just barely getting used to it. But it does feel better having the two levers on. And the two levers, I did swap out to Odyssey mono levers because I'm used to a BMX bike. I'm used to BMX levers, and I wanted to keep my front brake on. So I'm keeping the front brake on. I know not a lot of people are gonna do that, but I routed the cable through the middle of my headset cap, down through the fork and onto my front end, so I'm able to spin the bars without any type of cable binding up. The adjustments I did make on the brakes are I swapped out the original mechanical brake for an Avid brake setup, so they just have a little bit more stopping power, but I want to keep the mechanical, and I even took off the rear hydraulic brake that came on here because I want to be able to put a mechanical gyro on here in the future. The headset cap does say Cinema. That did not come on their stock. I put it on there because it was a little more sleek when I was trying to fit a smaller gyro on there. This frame is really unique because this one comes pre-drilled for gyro tabs, which a lot of the dirt jumpers don't. You actually have to put a sleeve or a plate on under the headset to allow you to run an actual gyro setup. So I'm pretty happy that this one already comes pre-drilled. So over to the middle of the bike, you could see that there's still a standard 3-piece crank on the bike, just like any other BMX bike, and even the gearing's pretty similar. So this is a 25-tooth sprocket with just a standard BMX chain and standard Welgo BMX pedals. I haven't made any changes to this, and the crank sizes are basically exactly what you would see on a normal BMX bike. Coming up to the seat and seat post, they ended up opting for the combo, which is actually super lightweight, and it's actually a really comfy seat. So I have mine probably a lot higher than you're gonna see anybody else's dirt jumper, but this just allows me to pinch for suis and bar spins a lot easier, and I've always run this setup, so I had to do it. Now to the wheels. These are actually exposure 26-inch wheels. So basically every dirt jumper has a 26-inch wheel, so it's a little bit more compact, and it allows you to really do some damage on these bikes and be able to flick it around, and it could take some real abuse. So the hubs on here actually come with sealed bearings already, so they actually roll super smooth. And after testing it out, I can vouch for it. These wheels, they've held up awesome so far. So this is the dirt jumper, and this is pretty much how it comes, but I have some big plans for making some other modifications, swapping out some parts here and there. So you'll see that in a video really, really soon. But growing up as a BMX rider, this is so different than my BMX bike. So we're gonna put them side to side right now, and we're gonna go through the differences. Both of these bikes have two wheels, and they're both designed to do big tricks and hold up to a lot of abuse, but just look at these bikes. They are completely different from one another. The BMX bike, 20-inch wheels, so it's got a super short wheelbase, and the general top tube size is about 20 inches with a 75-degree head tube and a super short back end. But with the 26-inch, that's not the case. Look at how long the wheelbase is on this bike. The top tube is about 23 inches long, and then the head tube angle is about 69 degrees with a much longer rear end. Although they look a lot different, I've seen a lot of similar stuff done on both of these bikes. I've seen giant dirt jumps done on a BMX bike, and I've seen street riding done on a dirt jumper. But the approach to this riding is completely different. So I'm gonna show you 3 different basic tricks, and I'm gonna show you the pros and cons of doing them on both bikes. So let's start with the BMX bike. So first, let's start with the bunny hop. Because of the short back end, the bike snaps up super quickly, and the wheels are so tiny that you kind of max out the height, but it does feel relatively easy once you learn the trick. but this thing is a boat to try and bunny hop. It's such a larger wheelbase with so much more weight on the bike as well that it just doesn't allow you to hop as easy. Another trick that has to do with the wheelbase is the manual. It's a relatively easy trick to learn, especially on a BMX bike because it's such a light bike and it's such a small back end. But on this bike, forget about it. You have to put so much weight over the back end because of the longer wheelbase that it's not impossible, it's just difficult. So the last trick I want to show you is spinning. And it's so much easier on this bike because of that shorter wheelbase. The bike's also a lot lighter and it's got a steeper head too. So doing a 180 like this is like nothing. And even doing a full 360 flat on a BMX bike, no problem. But let's see the dirt jumper. So I haven't even done either of these tricks on this bike. So this is gonna be a live example. Here's the 180. Yeah, that one felt pretty good. Let's see a 360. Good enough. So that didn't work at all. But the truth is, I didn't get this bike to ride street on it. I got this bike because I want to go hit big dirt jumps and I want to emulate some of my favorite dirt jump and slope style riders. I just love riding any type of bike because I want to have fun and I want to be creative. And honestly, now that I have this bike, I even made it a goal for myself this year that I want to ride a dirt jumper event. Maybe not Crankworks or something like that, but just something where I can go do the most tricks I possibly can. We're gonna be doing more dirt jumper videos in the near future, and I'm gonna be getting tons of new parts for this bike, and we're even gonna go back to Markham Park in the next week or so. So I hope you guys are looking forward to that just as much as I am, and I hope to see you guys in the next video. And one last one, show my commitment to the craft. That was really clean. That felt good. That felt good. Better than I thought.